Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. It has been a very mild week so far, but a significant drop in temperatures just today.
Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo standing by in the Weather Center with a first look at the forecast, tracking those cooler temperatures, and Jeremy, the chance for some rain.
Yes, rain. Rain does arrive tomorrow, but Whitney just said something and I thought, that's an interesting way to look at this. So that's what we're going to do right now. Sun's come out, temperatures have risen quite a bit from where they were somewhat recently, but wait for it to load, temperature change past 24 hours. Come on, little graphic. I was told not to hit screens anymore because it doesn't actually do anything, but it's nice drama and, it's cool. But don't do it. Don't do it at home. How about that for you? About a 10-degree drop from where we were this time yesterday here in much of the inland Northwest. Where does that put us here in Spokane? About at 64 degrees, so mid-60s. That's thanks to a couple of cold fronts that moved through, one yesterday, one today, and as it moves out, we got yet another one working its way in as we get into the day tomorrow. That arrives as we move into, I would say, tomorrow morning, but it's not necessarily a cold front, but instead the low itself moving overhead. As it moves through, we're going to see scattered showers, likely in the 8 o'clock hour, and then those are just going to kind of stick around and grow more widespread throughout the day. Likely going to be a pretty rainy day tomorrow, and some of that lingers into Thursday morning for us as the low moves out. So temps drop even more. 62 tomorrow, mid-60s Thursday, and then back near 70 by Friday.
All right, Jeremy, thank you very much. Just into our newsroom this afternoon, a former Lake City High School teacher will spend the next 4 months in jail for engaging in sexual contact with a 15-year-old student more than a decade ago.
According to our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press, 49-year-old William Keelan began a multi-year relationship with a 15-year-old back in 2012. Police say multiple students knew about the situation but were afraid to report it. Keelan faced up to 10 years in prison but entered an Alford plea.
So by entering that Alford plea, it means he did not admit guilt, but acknowledged there is enough evidence to convict him if the case went to trial. He will now spend 120 days in jail and will be placed on supervised probation for 4 years.
The Lucky Friday mine near Mullen will not start production back up again until next year. This comes just a month after a fire broke out 500 feet underground, forcing the mine to close. No one was hurt and it has since been put out. According to our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press, mine workers will now spend the next few months building a new tunnel to bypass the portions of that mine that were damaged in the fire.
Hayden Lake's police chief and only police officer has now been placed on administrative leave. Ron Pumphrey was hired back in June, but after just 2 months on the job, he was then placed on leave. That was in August. According to our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press, city staff will not publicly say why the chief was placed on leave or if or even when he might return. But city council members say it is an ongoing legal matter. So until the issue is resolved, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office will patrol Hayden Lake.
Well, new tonight, 2 former Spokane psychologists are being sued again for interrogation techniques they developed for prisoners at Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, one of those prisoners is claiming he was used as a guinea pig by the 2 CIA contractors.
The federal lawsuit filed Monday accuses James Mitchell and John Jessen of war crimes, torture, and experimentation on Abu Zubaydah. He was captured in 2002 and has been at Guantanamo Bay since 2006 despite never being charged with a crime.
So he is now asking for damages and a jury trial. His attorneys claim Mitchell and Jessen created an interrogation program where waterboarding, mock executions, and stress positions were used by the CIA on detainees for years.
And coming up on KREM 2 News at 6, we are breaking down the lawsuit that claims the 2 Spokane psychologists profited off experimental program they were not qualified for. In other news this evening, I-90 is now back open tonight after police say someone stole a washed-out asphalt truck this morning in Washtenaw and then led authorities on a chase.
That chase ended with that stolen truck then catching fire when troopers had to use spike strips to get the driver to stop. KREM 2's Nathan Yun spoke to a witness about that chaotic situation.
It was supposed to be a normal morning drive for Josh Lacrosse.
I didn't know what was going on. For a minute, I thought maybe it was just some sort of escort. There was an emergency. The cop wasn't making any real moves.
Lacrosse was on Highway 261 when all of a sudden he saw Washington State Patrol cars chasing a washed-out truck that had been stolen from the Washtenaw maintenance facility. Take a look at your screen now. This is video that Lacrosse took when he was following the pursuit. He said he saw 6 officers chasing the truck down.
I was directly behind them. We were going the speed limit, going 55 miles an hour. followed them for quite a few miles.
He says he saw police throw out strike strips to slow down the truck, but it took until the fourth attempt to slow it down.
I watched the officers make several attempts to go around him, but then they stopped, maybe thinking the vehicle was too big to stop with their vehicles.
WSP says the truck began driving up Highway 261, and because of the seriousness of the crime, they decided to pursue it. The pursuit went for about half an hour before the truck was stopped on I-90 near Ritzville.
We're pleased that no one got hurt and the suspect was apprehended safely.
WSP Public Information Officer Greg Riddell says the pursuit went longer than he would have liked because of the size of the truck.
We don't want it to take any time they get something stopped, but sometimes they're beyond our control there.
Riddell says when the truck came to a stop, it caught fire. The suspect then surrendered to authorities without incident.
Traffic completely stopped. I saw smoke for a brief second and then flames shoot up into the air.
Police closed eastbound I-90 during the initial arrest, but one lane was open shortly after, and I-90 was fully open before noon. I spoke with the Adams County Sheriff's Office who arrested the suspect. They told me the suspect is charged with attempted robbery, armed robbery, and assault. They couldn't provide me any further information. In Washtenaw, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.